There he is, in a pornographic state. Danny the dog cleaning himself out in public. What you doing, Danny? What you doing, Danny? What you doing, Danny? Morning, everyone. Sorry for the long distance view here, but I want to get Danny in the shot too. I am sitting on top of the trailer decking order for Gacci Construction. And this pile pretty much has it covered. However, there's a few boards in here that might be marginal. And I do have some boards to edge on the ground, but I've got a final candidate up on the sawmill, and it is my contingency log for this order. I'll give you a look at that. I'll give you a look at this pile. I'll show you some of the bendy boards here. And before I go to lunch today, it's Saturday, it's weekend, go see my friend Yogi up the street at the Tiki Bar. I want to cut this contingency log up, see if I can do it before lunch here. And what it is it's 14 feet long. I'm shooting for just maybe a 6x9 cant, I think, by the way I have it measured it out, or 6 1/8 by 9. Hopefully, it's not a very good log, but it is 14 foot 2. What that means is, originally I was looking for a 6-inch cant, and I was thinking I would just get 4 boards out of it, but they would be 4 boards that can do anything in this order. They can cover the longest board down to 2 of the shortest boards. Well, not the shortest. The trailer ramps themselves are 7 feet. So it would actually cover 2 of those boards per board that comes off. So we're going to cut it up. We're going to see how much we can get out of it. It's not a very good log. It's bendy, twisty. Maybe not twisty, but a little bit bendy. But it is big enough so that it should yield out a 6-inch cant. So let me give you a look at the lumber pile here, and then we'll go over and take a look at the log. So this is the lumber pile. You can see how everything is tagged. I've only got a couple boards sitting back there because they're short. Didn't want to throw them up on the long pile. You can see how they're set tagged with C's, D's, A's. You can see this one right here ends up being a C on this end and a D on that end. You can see this one that's tagged as an extra board. And I think what happened on this one was that the cant bowed in the middle and it ended up being a little bit thin in the middle. So hopefully you don't have to really use this one. It would be fine for ramps. I mean, as you can see, I don't know if you can tell here, but it's fairly close. It's only a little thin in the middle, but we'll just try to use this as an extra. And what we have up on the sawmill here is this 14-foot long black oak, 14.2. You can see I've got that end jacked all the way up on the toe board. It's sitting fairly level right now, or fairly flat right now on the top. And we're just going to have to see how this comes apart. It's not huge down here. I did go ahead and do some measurements. Drew me a couple of lines to where I think my cant's going to fall. I don't know if you can see that or not. But I got a top line there and a bottom line there where the cant should fall in that fattest part, or that widest part right there, hopefully. You can see it's got 2 piths down here. It's only got 1 down the other end. You can also see that I cut a bunch of walnut yesterday for customers. Yeah, so we got a bunch of nice brown sawdust lying around. It smells like walnut out here, which is not my favorite smell. Well, what I'm going to do is get you guys a view, and we're going to start taking this apart. We're going to try to get kind of to this line, shave it off. There's nothing above that line, so I'm just going to take it off right at the line, and we'll spin it. We'll take the top off it. We'll spin it. We'll set our width, and then on 5/6 scale, we'll mill down through this and see how many boards we're going to get. And hopefully they don't end up too bendy. Oh, I didn't show you the bendy boards. Now, I just want to say before I show this that these two boards are bending in different directions, so it's really magnifying this. But if you look down, we did get a couple of boards that bowed sideways quite a bit. They'll have to be clamped in. And I offered my services to these guys to install the boards, and they took me up on it. Now, I don't know whether I'll do all the fastening. I am going to get them all in place and secured down. That way I can control the clamping and everything, and I'm all set up to do it. And once I have them all in place, we'll see whether I'm going to go and do the whole fastening job or whether they're going to take over the fastening job and just finish it off. So I kind of know what's going on. This is going to go way faster for me. They want to pay me to do it. So I am going to install all the stuff on the deck, except for the back trailer ramps, because they are not fabricated yet. So they're going to go, they want to be able to use the trailer. We're just going to cover the deck top and the boards that are going to go on the trailer ramps that are being replaced at some point. We will wait on, and they can do those later. Another little amendment to, if you didn't watch the previous video, please watch it to see how perfect and straight and almost no limbs this log was when we cut it up. And we really got all the bow in it. We got all this deflection in it when we split the cant in half to cut it into sixes. It didn't happen to every board. If you look down the outside here, you know, some of them are pretty straight, but a bunch of them did bow. And on big, long 12-footers like this, that's not a problem. That amount of deflection which is exactly half of what you see-ish, is going to be no problem to clamp in and clamp them straight. Actually, you can use that to your advantage by using the spring in the board and fastening it on this end tight, letting it bow away and clamp that far end in, and actually the spring end will tighten everything up. It's called a sprung joint. So if you want to use a sprung joint, you can do it that way, and it actually helps you out. We are running the same Stella cut band that we've been running. I am going to take this top cut right where it is. It's firewood, and hopefully this cleans this up enough. No matter what, whatever we get out of this is going to be useful. So we're going to try to shoot for, just in kind of practice, what we want. But whatever we get out of this is going to be useful, even if it's not full length. So let's take the top cut and we'll spin it and get at it. Holy crap, I was almost right there. And we're going to cut it right there. It's going to be a heavy slab cut, but it looks like it gives us our best chance at pulling this off. If I went above this, guys, if I go above this because of the shape of the log, there's nothing there. So I don't have any other choice. And with that limb in the middle right there, it's going to be low quality as it is. To try to steal something off this side, just cut it. Well, it's pretty thick in the middle. I hope there's going to be enough of this log left over at the end to do this. This is going to look huge, and it is. But it's thin on both ends. And there was nothing else this log would have been good for except to cut up for firewood. Pretty inside. Almost looks like white oak. Huh. I still think it's a black oak, but it looks a lot like white oak. So we're gonna spin it. Can tell, I think we're gonna be okay to get at least 4 out of it, maybe 5. There's a dip in the log right here that is really gonna affect how much yield we're gonna get out of this. We're just gonna see. I don't wanna waste any time on this, so we're just gonna see where this cut is gonna be. It's gonna be around 13. I think we'll try it at 13. The line that I drew on this end right here is almost irrelevant at this point because of that dip. And right now this is kind of bowed like this, horns up. And I do have this end all the way up on the toe board to kind of flatten it out. So let's see what 13 looks like. It's actually right at my line. We're going to see about this one. Let's go ahead and take it and let's see what we clean up like. Not enough. I am going to have to come down at least to 12, and I'm probably going to stop there. We're going to see. I might have to take 2 flitches off this. How bad is that going to affect that? It doesn't kill my square very much. There is a hump up in the log here that's going to hurt that later, but I have no choice. I have to take it off. So we're going to come down to 12 and see what it skims like there first. If I have to take 2, I have to take 2. You guys are going to have to trust me on this. That I'm going to make a cut that's going to look kind of big, but there's nothing here, guys. It's got to be taken at 6 1/8. If it looks too gross to me, maybe I'll take it somewhere else. But nah, there's just nothing else there with all the curves in the log. I'm just going to take it here. Kind of funny, this log is cutting a lot like white oak. I don't know if you can see how thin it is right here. And there's curves in like this. There's a curve in down there. There's just nothing here. It looks huge, but it's just not. We're going to set our 1.5 inch scale here. We'll come down to 3 1/8. Oh, it's already set. I'm already on scale right now. So we're going to let the scale tell us where to take our top cut here. since I have my tape measure and I don't want to. So the top cleanup is somewhere around 7-ish. So we are going to get our 4 boards out of it. And we'll see where that tells us to take it. And we will clean up the top and then just mow through it. Let's get up around 7. So on scale, it's like 6 3/8. We're going to take it right there. A little bit. Yeah, it's bowing like hell. Damn it. Let's hope this piece takes the tension out of it. Wow. I was wondering when the tension was going to show up. Let's hope that that took all the tension out of this log. Let's hope when we drop and make our next cut that it doesn't bow real bad. So we're going to be coming down to somewhere around 4 3/4, something like that. Yep. Only bowed a teeny little bit, not bad. So 12 what's left for me to do today is clean up and put away the mill. Well, no, I take it back. I got some edgings to do over there. So I'll give you a look at the wood. I'm not going to scrape it or anything or dump water on it. It's pretty, but it doesn't matter. It's just trailer decking. But now we have those 4 more extra boards that can cover anything on the trailer. These would do 8 of the ramp boards if I just cut them all in half. And that would cover, I believe, well, more than the rest of the ramp if I didn't do anything else and didn't use any of my extra boards over there. So let's take a look at it. I don't know if you can tell by the color because I don't know how it's going to come through, but it looks really white oaky, doesn't it? It looks kind of nice and brown in the center. That's not red like a red oak. You know, which really surprises me because I thought it had really red oaky bark. There's a chance. I'm just going to call it a black oak. There's a chance that it's a white oak. So you can see the way they stepped over. So there was some tension sideways, and you can see the other end is pretty much lined up. So these bowed sideways a little bit. There wasn't very much up and down bow in this. When we took off that cut, it did take most of this tension out of it, but they did twist a little bit. No, not twisted. They did crook a little to the side, which means that these all have to be clamped in as well. How much? It's half of what you see there, so it's not very much, and it got less as it went down. So you can see on the top, it was like a 1/2 inch. The next one was like maybe 5/8. Then it was like a 1/4. So it got less bow as we cut through the log. That's good. And as you look down them, you know, they look fairly straight. There isn't a lot of crook in these right now. So let's do an outro on a Saturday morning. So thanks for coming along for that quick little ride there. I can tell you that what my plan will end up being is that when I put it together, I will always try to clamp something in, use the straightest ones for my filler. In other words, I can use, let's say it's 4 boards going across and they're trapped in by metal on the deck. Your first 3 can be Bowie boards clamped in tight to each other, one at a time. But your 4th board that's got to fit in the hole, what's left of the hole. It's going to be always better if you work with a straight one there, or straighter. You're not going to want a huge crook in it and have to bend it in and stomp down on it. You could do it that way, but it's always going to be better. If I have 3 fairly straight ones of these A's, is what they're called on my list, I will save those for the last filler board on each of the 3 sections that they go in. And then just put the bendy ones in first, clamp them in tight and straight to the metal, set screws in them to hold them in place, and then put my last board in, and then Bob's your uncle. So those 4 boards will dramatically help that out. They don't bow enough to not be used in that last spot. The place where you have to be careful with really bowed boards is cutting them down into shorties. So I wouldn't want to try to clamp the bow out of these boards at, say, 6 feet. It would be really hard. You'd have to put a ton of clamp pressure on it to do that. They'll clamp out no problem at 12. So that's pretty much it. I had Danny in the camera shot, and now he's over here staring across the street. I want to thank you all for coming along. I know it's just a quick little video. I got out of my way before lunch here. And now I'm going to go sit down, have some lunch. I'm going to come back. When I come back this afternoon, I'll get rid of my slab wood, and I'm going to edge off my edge boards and then clean up the mill and put the mill away for the next couple days. I won't be doing any milling tomorrow. I probably will not do any milling on Monday. I could wait to edge until Monday, but I don't want those boards sitting around on the ground and kind of doing anything funky. I want them as straight as they are. So I think I'll finish them off today. That you won't see on video, and then this order will be ready to go to the customer. I'm not really sure how we're going to manage that yet. He told me he was going to bring a trailer, and we will have to see how that's all going to work out. I am going to get these, Lawrence Lynch came and picked up another trailer deck yesterday, so I got one of my big bunks back. I'm going to bring that down here, throw some sleepers on it, and put these on top of that big bunk so I can keep it out of the sunlight. You don't want these sitting out in the sun right now. It's starting to get lower in the sky, but as little as possible. So I'll get these on a bunk and put away in the woods until they come and pick them up. So that's pretty much it. It ended up being 2 logs pretty much filled the order. 3 logs is just going to give me peace of mind that I have more than I need, and I can somewhat be creative about the ones I choose. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Make sure you hit the notifications bell so you know when we put a video out. The more that you hit that thumbs up and the more that you comment on our videos, the more the algorithm's going to suggest us. So you'll see us in your normal watching as a suggestion to watch when videos do come out. Danny and I always appreciate it. And for now, for a Saturday morning, Pirate Solutions out.